Hello, my loves, and welcome back to Along This Spiritual Journey. So, the theme this week is dating. So, for me, myself, a lot of people are always like, "Why are you single? You seem so great. What's the red flags?" And I'm always laughing and thinking about there's a choice that you get to at a certain level of I'm going to wait until I know that I meet someone who's absolutely ready. And regardless of how it looks on the outside, that I'm single for such a long time, or I'm not dating, or it seems like something's wrong, let people think that there's something wrong. That's going to scare away the people you don't want around. I promise you. The people who genuinely are interested in dating understand, and I always say this, when you meet a secure partner is someone who is not without fault. They have stuff they've gone through. They have relationships under their belts that probably was their fault because they weren't grown. They have relationships that weren't their fault because the other person wasn't ready. But in that understanding, they're not seeking blame. They're not telling other people that it's their fault. They're not even trying to drag it into a new relationship. A secure partner understands that when you start a new relationship, you're going to have a partner who brings in some level of baggage from the past. A secure partner is okay with knowing you're going to have some level of baggage that you never actually got to clean up with anyone. You had to learn how to clean it up yourself and put it away on a shelf. And it looks pretty, but you never really got rid of the shelf. It's just there being pretty because you never had the opportunity to dispose of it or someone come along with the energy who helps you dispose of it. That's what a secure relationship does. That's why when you meet someone who's willing not to take on your baggage, not to hold all your hurt and pain, but to hold space for you. When they say hold space, because a lot of people don't like certain terminologies within the spiritual world, it's okay to be negative and upset and have drama and have some type of level of, I don't like this life of how we do things. That's normal. But when you rebalance yourself back to, there is a level of extreme positivity that people reach that some people don't reach. That doesn't mean something's wrong with you. There are some people who just are able to see the world in such a bright and beautiful way that a lot of people will never be able to comprehend because that's just not how they operate. You have to learn how to operate for yourself. So if you go into any relationship and you see that somebody is not running away because you have boundaries and you're afraid and you don't know what to expect, but you're not blaming them and putting all your issues on them, that person will hold space for you. A secure person will hold space for you. A person who's not secure, they will run away. Which is why if you are a person who's trying to heal and you meet someone who's unhealed and then you rely on them and then they expectedly hurt you, then you take that hurt on and then you say, see, I tried, they hurt me. No, baby, you were still hurt, hoping another hurt person could see you. This is why it's important to clear that from your dating process. It's okay to go into a situation, a new relationship, thinking, I was hurt. But I'm not going to blame this person for that hurt. I'm going to see what they do. Even if, down to the most minuscule thing, oh my God, their backstory of how they're close to their mom sounds the same. Their backstory of how they grew up sounds the same as my other ex that didn't work out. It sounds like the same story. Those are indicators of past life entanglements that are trying to come back and fix it with you this life. That's the spiritual part. You can choose to engage in a spiritual journey. This is why we talk about twin flame, soulmate, all that stuff. If you see a replication of an energy that keeps coming back into your life over and over and over, that is a past life relationship. It can be soulmate or twin flame. It doesn't mean that it was good. It doesn't mean that it was bad. It just means in a past life, you had this relationship with this person. It ended for some reason, and now in this new avatar, you get to decide if you want to entertain that relationship. That is what spiritual dating is about. Now, when you cross over into the spiritual realm, when you meet a physical avatar to apply one of these spiritual partners to, then you look at that avatar and you decide if this person is coming to you with the same amount of damage that you feel from the past, then you get to decide, okay, I'm not ready, I'm not healed, I can't go down this journey again. But if you see like, okay, I've been here before, I can handle this, this is not as bad as I thought, then you're giving that new avatar an opportunity to cleanse an old past life issue for them, because remember, trauma is past life. Regardless if it was 2 months ago, 3 years ago, whatever, if you were able to hold space for that person to then clear space and make a new assumption of their own self and how they approach the world of dating, that gives them the opportunity to refresh and rebirth and say, okay, not all are the same. Not every situation will be the same. Even if you repeated that situation 110 times and on the 111th time you got it, that's the point. Accuracy is about learning how to get the most myopic point, just hit it. You know what I mean? If it wasn't about that, then any situation, any encounter would become the most romantic opportunities, because that's how it happens. But there is patterns to getting to know people and dating in the spiritual world if you're at this level. If you're not, and it's just in the regular world and you're still dealing with emotional stuff, that means that you have to understand that it is not your job to bring your trauma from your past and pile it all on a new person's plate to see if you can break them. A lot of people do this thing where they're like, I want to see if they can handle me. That means you're trying to break them because you see that they have a level of peace that you have yet attained. And because you don't trust this peace, because somebody else has learned how to manipulate what peace looks like, you now are trying to break anybody who seems peaceful, versus people who come to you chaotic. This is where you see people running right back to their exes, running right back to the bad boy, the bad girl. You see them running right towards the chaos because they're like, it's hot, it's sexy. Why not? Because you know that you're not ready for that level of sensuality. Remember, sensuality is a game. And once you get to a level that you are, everyone wants you physically, sexually, this and that, and you upkeep this persona, then it is a game. And you do know that certain people will have to come in with the same amount of confidence to be able to hold space for you. But if you're just a regular schmegular, ain't nothing wrong with that. If you're out here just dating people based on how, hey, they make me happy, they seem cool, they seem chill, let me let them into my life. I don't have to worry about the outside world. I can take on a little bit of trauma, not because it's mine, but I can hold space for them. Then let that person be that secure partner for you. Same thing if you are a high maintenance person who loves attention and all this, don't try to go out of your way to be overly social and overly in the limelight. Let that person know that you're going to make time for them. Because if you make time for them, then they'll be secure enough to know, like, I can hold space for them. If they don't see you making time for them, then they're going to run away too. This is the part of people, and you see the balance. When you meet another person, when you are your whole, you are your whole. But when you meet another person, it becomes a dance of balance. And if you're always all the way over here and they got to come all the way over here, then yes, there's going to be animosity, period. No matter which way you go, if the person is not included in the decision of how you want to allocate energy, right? If you come in Mr. Independent and Mr. Independent, y'all going to have to find a way to be a little interdependent on each other, because that's how you're going to release the boundaries. If you both are interdependent and you have no sense of boundaries or attachment and you're just stuck to each other and clingy, yeah, you're going to have to learn independence, which means you're going to have to start trusting that how I respond to their trauma is how I'm responding to my trauma, right? Anytime you do anything with any person, how you respond to their trauma is how you respond to your own trauma, because there's going to be some point in this human existence in life that you experience some level of that emotional state of being. It might not be the same situation, but you can get to a certain situation where you understand, I get what that person was going through now. I get where they were. Because you don't want to just go up here and cut people off like, oh, they have trauma, get rid of them. No, that's not what anyone's saying. What we're saying is, if you come into a new relationship, don't come in blaming the other person for things that you see from your past. Allow yourself to use discernment and say, I see the patterns. Will it lead to the same probability, or will it lead to something else? I don't know. Maybe there was something I lost along that journey. Maybe there was something I didn't see along that formulation or the algorithm that I was creating to give myself the answers, because we all create some algorithm to give ourselves answers, and it works for a certain point, but then you're going to meet that person who's going to break your algorithm calculator, right? And you're going to be like, wait a minute, this is not mathing, it's not adding up. So that's why it's important not to polarize the energies to the point that you don't recognize how to meet yourself in the middle. All right? I hope that makes sense. Love ya. Mwah.